welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be reacting to and breaking down something very, very different today. We are going to be doing The Last Unicorn, which is an animated movie that came out in 1982. I believe it's based on a book that came out like in the 60s, early 70s. I was very interested to see that the list of voice actors is rather prestigious, in my opinion. We have Jeff Bridges, Mia Farrow. Mia Farrow is the voice of the unicorn. Angela Lansbury, Christopher frickin' Lee. And the soundtrack, the songs in the soundtrack were performed by America, as well as the London Symphony Orchestra. Now, the group America sounds familiar to me. Let us just... I'm not sure why they sound familiar to me. Stuff like this bothers me. I have to figure it out. British American band from the 70s. Okay. Folk rock. Makes sense. If you hear the soundtrack to the movie, makes total sense. Yeah, I don't see anything on here that I recognize, but the band name is familiar to me. I was very interested in the voice acting cast that they have here. I love me some Christopher Lee. Listen, that man's voice, and they have him doing the right character. He's kind of our bad guy. So this is a animated fantasy film, okay? I will say I'd never seen this before. This is a first time watch for me. I will say it's an interesting movie. It's got singing in it. It's kind of a musical. But it was a difficult watch in the sense that maybe it's just me. I've been having a hard time focusing on like anything the last few weeks. So I don't know if it's that, or if the movie was just having a hard time catching my attention, like catching my interest, right? So, but I mean, as far as animated 80s fantasy films go, it was interesting. So let's just jump right in. We begin our movie with our unicorn living her life in her magical part of the forest. And she overhears two hunters talking about unicorns in that specific part of the forest, and they're kind of having a back and forth as to whether or not unicorns are real, or and the one's like, sure they are, but you know, the one that's in this particular forest is like the only one. She's the last of the unicorns, and they decide to, they haven't seen her. We haven't seen the unicorn yet, but the elder hunter knows that she's there, and just like, let's leave her alone. We'll go hunt elsewhere. And so they do. And she comes out of the forest, and we hear her thoughts, right? Because she's a unicorn. Wondering, is she really the last one? She's never seen another unicorn, but that can't really mean that she's the last one, right? She can't be. Right? They're immortal, and they can be killed. that doesn't mean that she's the last one, right? It becomes a growing concern of hers. As she's going through this inner monologue, we see this little butterfly come flying by, and he's, talking all kinds of riddles and, answering her questions in little poems, and he's rather annoying. But he tells her of he's described as sort of an entity known as the Red Bull. And the butterfly tells her that the Red Bull had herded nearly all the unicorns to the ends of the earth, all but her. The unicorn, our unicorn, then sets off on a journey to find the rest of her kind. The unicorn is captured by a witch called, I'm gonna say it wrong, Mummy Fortuna. I think it's a play on fortune, but I don't know. And once she captures the unicorn, her plan is, and she does, display her in her, what she calls a midnight carnival. Most of the attractions that she has are normal animals that are simply enhanced by illusions to appear as if they are mythical beasts. Fortuna uses a spell to create another horn on the unicorn's head, as the carnival visitors cannot see her real horn. Okay, humans see her as simply a beautiful white mare, and that is it. Fortuna keeps something called a harpy. I can't pronounce the other. It's got another part to the name. I cannot pronounce it. I'm not even going to try. But it's another immortal creature like the unicorn. And she's keeping that captive as well. She says that the risk of this immortal creature escaping and killing her, because that's what it wants to do, is nothing compared to the prestige that it brings her carnival to have this beast to show, right? She doesn't care. Her, caution to the wind, right? It's the prestige she wants, and that's all. She doesn't care. The unicorn is befriended by Schmendrick. It's a weird fucking name. He is kind of a magician. He's a wannabe magician. He has some power, but he can't control it, and it takes a lot out of him energy-wise, and it's not reliable. And he is in service of Fortuna, Mummy Fortuna. These fucking names, man. However, with the help of Schmendrick, the unicorn escapes, in the process freeing the other animals, including the harpy. It has another name. I can't pronounce it. I'm sorry. I'm not even trying. The harpy, as was foretold, kills Fortuna. The unicorn and Schmendrick continue traveling until Schmendrick is captured by a group of bandits led by Captain Cully, who ties him to a tree, which is kind of awkward because he does a spell. The reason he gets tied to a tree, they all like him and they, want to keep him in the group and la la la. And a couple people in the group start talking about Robin Hood. They want to hear stories about Robin Hood. And Captain Cully's like, Robin Hood's not real. We're real. We're, Robin Hood's not real. Tell stories about me, right? And Schmedrick ends up doing this like illusion thing that shows Robin Hood and running through the forest and whatever. And, you know, everybody's all excited and they go following this illusion. This makes Cully angry and he ties him to this tree. When he tries to free himself, Schmedrick, okay, he casts a spell and he brings the tree to life. And the tree attempts to seduce him. Like, he's tied to this tree, like, facing it, right? So the tree's here, and this is, my face is Schmedrick, okay? The tree comes to life as a woman. Okay? So, Schmedrick's face is currently motorboating this tree. Okay? Just saying. It's awkward, and it's weird, and holy shit. This is an example that not all animated movies are meant for children, okay? It's fucked up. Oh my god. So the tree attempts to seduce him until the unicorn arrives and frees him. She uses her magic. She herself is a magical being, right? So she kind of touches the ropes with her horn and they drop and Schmedrick is free. Molly Grew, who is Cully's significant other, starts crying at the sight of the unicorn and abandons Cully's crew to travel with them. There was a whole monologue that she did. I didn't understand it. It didn't make any sense to me, but she'd been wanting to see a unicorn her whole life. And it moved her to tears to finally see one. It was kind of the gist of it. When nearing the castle of King Hagrid, I don't think I pronounced that right. When nearing the castle of King Haggard, we're not doing Harry Potter, the group encounters the Red Bull, a monstrous fire element. It attacks the unicorn and Schmedrick transforms her into a human girl to save her life. The bull loses interest in her and departs, but the unicorn panics over her newly found mortality. And Schmedrick promises to undo the transformation upon completing the quest. Like, she says she is more scared of this new human body than she ever was of the Red Bull. And she was scared of the Red Bull. She was terrified of the Red Bull. However, it's important to note that the Red Bull wasn't trying to kill her. He was trying to drive her to the castle. Schmedrick, Molly, and the now human unicorn proceed to the castle. Haggard is initially very unwelcoming. Schmedrick introduces the unicorn as Lady Amalthea. We're gonna call her Amelia. Okay, that's what I want to say. That's not what it is, but that's what I want to say. So we're gonna call her Amelia. Okay, we're gonna be kind to my dyslexia because my dyslexia is not liking this letter arrangement of a name. We're calling her Amelia. And requests that they become members of Haggard's court, only to be told that the only occupants of the castle are Haggard, his adopted son, Prince Lear, and 4 ancient men at arms. Haggard, who is, by the way, Christopher Lee, agrees to lodge the trio, placing his more competent wizard Mabirk. Listen, I didn't make up these names, okay? Placing him with Schmedrick and setting Molly to work in his... I thought they were in the kitchen. Hang on, let's check this out. Yeah, okay, so the kitchen. Mabirk, whatever, leaves after recognizing Amelia for what she is. And he warns Haggard that by allowing Amelia into the castle, he has kind of sealed his own doom. Amelia begins losing her memories as a unicorn and falls in love with Prince Lear and considers abandoning her quest in favor of mortal love. Don't they all? I don't know why they do that. I would love to be a unicorn. Come on. Haggard reveals to Amelia that he ordered the bull to round up all the world's unicorns and imprison them in the sea by his castle so that Haggard could admire them every day. All for himself, right?
There they are. They are mine. They belong to me. The Red Bull gathered them for me one by one, and I bade him drive each one into the sea. Now they live there, and every tide carries them within an easy step of the land, but they dare not come out of the water. They are afraid of the Red Bull.
Like, he gets an inclination when he meets Amelia that she's not quite right? There's something sort of like uncanny valley about her, right? Like, he looks into her eyes and he can't see himself, and this makes him angry. He's quite the guy. He's quite the guy. Our king, yeah. And he calls her out on the fact that, like, there's something not right with her. Right? And then his little magician gremlin guy is like, having her here is sealing your doom, sir. Like, you may want to turn her away. But he can't. He knows there's something up with her, and he wants her. The castle's cat tells the location of the bull's lair to Molly. And the cat, bearing in mind this is a fantasy and the cat can speak, the cat can see Amelia's true form. He can see her horn, right? He knows that she's not human. Smedrick and Amelia and Lear enter the bull's den and are trapped there by Haggard. They end up being able to travel through like a clock, and like a great big grandfather clock kind of thing. And Haggard ends up destroying the clock. So
Haggard has destroyed the clock. Now there's no way back and no way out but through the Red Bull's passage.
yeah. They stuck. Smedrick reveals Amelia's true identity to Lear, who declares that he still loves her regardless. He don't care. Girl, horse, whatever. It's all good. Amelia contemplates abandoning the quest to marry Lear, but he dissuades her. He's like, girl, no, like, you need to be who you are, not this illusion. The bull appears, no longer deceived by Amelia's human form, and chases her. Schmedrick turns Amelia back into a unicorn, but she is unwilling to leave Lear's side. The bull begins driving her toward the ocean, and Lear is killed while defending her. Enraged, the unicorn forces the bull into the sea. The missing hundreds of unicorns emerge from the water, causing Haggard's castle to collapse into the sea as he falls to his death. And that is actually a really, really cool scene, because as the unicorn is driving the Red Bull into the sea, the waves get taller and taller. It's almost like tsunami shit, right? And the crest of the wave is all the unicorns. So the big white part of the wave, the top, is all the unicorns, and they all come crashing down. And, you know, as the wave crashes and then pulls back as they do in the sea, it drags the bull. And then, of course, crumbles the castle, and our nasty little king goes down into the sea, and the unicorns are free and scatter. On the beach, the unicorn magically revives Lear before leaving him. Schmedrick assures Lear that he has gained much by earning the love of a unicorn, even if he is now alone. Sorry, my guy. The unicorn later bids goodbye to Schmedrick, who feels guilty for burdening her with the experience of mortality, because now she knows what regret is. She says earlier that, you know, like, unicorns don't know regret. They don't feel it. They don't know what that is, right? Now that she's been mortal, she understands that emotion and can still remember what that feels like. Yeah, feels guilty for burdening her with the experience of mortality, which could make her unable to properly rejoin her kind. She assures Schmedrick, I'm sorry if I'm shushing all over the place, it's so hard to pronounce all this, that he helped restore the unicorns to the world and made her understand regret and love. Schmedrick and Molly watch the unicorn depart for her forest and home. And all is right with the world. Everybody goes back to their thing. They're happy. Yay. And, you know, Lear is alone now, but it's cool because he loved a unicorn. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, so Jeff Bridges, I'm just looking at the cast here. Jeff Bridges was Prince Lear. He didn't say, I didn't recognize his voice at all. I want to know who Angela Lansbury was, Mommy Fortuna. Are you kidding me? Her voice was so well hidden. I didn't recognize her voice at all. We love Angela Lansbury. Yeah, and Christopher Lee was King Haggard. Yeah. Listen, it was interesting. It was different. I'd never seen it before. I remember hearing about it a lot when I was a kid, but I'd never watched it. So it was an interesting watch. It was, I mean, listen, I kind of, it's not, I mean, it is, I guess, technically a kids type movie. I mean, what kids movies don't have adult shit in it, right? Like, Disney is renowned for that shit. It was just funny to me to see an obvious children's movie with, you know, some guy getting motorboated and seduced by a fucking tree. I wasn't ready. It was okay, though. I think, now, mind you, at present time, it's 11:25 at night. So I was watching this kind of late in the day. I think if I'd watched this, you know, on a weekend in the afternoon, maybe it would have been easier to get through, but I found myself very distracted watching it. Like I said, that's not to say it wasn't a good movie. It was. It was a very interesting little tale. I just don't think I was in the right headspace for it. Maybe I'll have to watch it again and see. It's not at all like I was thinking the whole time. Well, when the tree scene happened, because of how not kid appropriate that is, it made me think of like Watership Down. I remember watching Watership Down when I was like, I don't know, somewhere between 13 and maybe 15. And a friend of mine made me watch it. You've got to see this. You've got to see this. I'm like, the only animated movies I watched outside of like Disney movies, because I do love me a good old Disney animated movie. Okay. The only other one I'd ever seen was like Who Framed Roger Rabbit and Fievel, the first Fievel movie. I can't remember what that was called, but right. So animated movies really weren't my thing unless they were Disney. So I sat down and watched this, and Jesus friggin' Christ, is that ever not a kid's movie? But if you would like to hear a breakdown and reaction to that, I would love to. I wouldn't mind doing a rewatch for that. I haven't seen it in years. But this kind of made me think of that, just with that tree scene. You know what I mean? Like, it was just like, whoa, whoa. Ma'am, easy. But it was a good time. I will put the links or the for the streaming if you want to check it out for yourself. Like I said, it's 1982, so I mean, bear that in mind when you're watching the illustrations. But the story itself is a fun little idea, right? It's right along there with, you know, movies like Legend, except if Legend was like an animated movie, it'd be kind of something to that effect, right? Anyways, I enjoyed doing this. I hope you enjoyed my breakdown. Yeah, so until next time, take care of yourself, and we'll see you in the next one.